Hi, everyone. Ken Kirschmaier with SVG. Welcome to the new sponsor spotlight. Pleased to be joined by Akshat Prakash, who is the CTO of CAMB.AI. So, AI is the hottest buzz in the world, as you know, Akshat. So, give us a sense of what CAMB.AI is all about, and also yourself as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey guys, and thanks for having me on. So I'm Ak, I'm the CTO at CAMB, and I re lead a lot of the R&D and product work that we do. My background is core in speech research, and I've been building LLM models before. As Ken said, AI was really a buzzword. And yeah, at CAMB, we're super privileged to be leading a wave of localization in sports and media. We're helping rights holders expand the ability to reach out to 8 billion people in their native language. I think what really caught us wings and got us introduced in the sports world was our unique ability to be able to do really high quality live broadcasts in real time in multiple languages. So today, CAMB.AI is known in the industry for being able to do that for multiple sports properties across the globe, from North America to all the way to Australia, including some pretty large brands. So that's what we do, and of course, all this is powered by artificial intelligence, and particularly speech tech. Things like sports commentary, right? Um, so that's a really quick background about CAM, but happy to share more.
Yeah, sure. So, well, obviously, Um, I will say that when we go like IBC or NEB, especially IBC, this is a more crowded space as far as a lot of people in this sort of AI-based translation, transcription, dubbing. So what do you kind of see as your unique offering or your strengths in the marketplace?
Yeah, I think the when people say it's crowded, that can definitely be like a viewpoint when kind of evaluating technologies. But as soon as you start to get a little bit deeper, you start to realize that the space is not crowded at all, right? And what that is like, even giants like Google have been trying to solve for translation for 2 decades at least, right? But here we are still in a world where not every feed is live dubbed into every language, right? And something like translation, which is probably the most basic thing that you can enable with artificial intelligence, still remains in pretty much a backseat. So yes, it's true that there are good transcription tools, real-time captioning tools, but the emotional nuance, the contextualism, the performance that is required in end-to-end dubbing, especially live, just does not exist, right? And especially even if it is talked about in closed room board demos in like 1 to 2 minute clips with like a single speaker. That is not the reality of life and sports, right? What CAMB.AI has been able to demonstrate is live dubbing at scale. Last year or within the last 18 months, it's safe to say that everybody who's done a multilingual feed with AI has done it through CAMB.AI. And so that's really the impact that we're bringing to the industry. We're taking it from demos and theoreticals. And I guess, at places where IBC, where you get to hear about it, actually in the real world, in the hands of real fans and viewers. And what's even more important is that there's something to say about technology innovation, and fan experience, but there's also another thing to be able to show a revenue uplift, a sponsorship increase, or an ad revenue increment. And so very quickly, CAMB.AI is actually enabling its partners to do that, which I think is a huge seismic shift. So as kind of the years go on and technology gets commoditized, of course, these things will become a little bit easier and for more people to do. But we're really taking a position of infrastructure and kind of an enabler play with our partners. And yep, it's amazing to see some of the results from like 500 million additional views by simply taking the same live feed into another language. Those are just stats of us, significantly just getting started in this space, and
Right,
there's
right.
more.
Awesome. So now where in the production chain does the technology sit? So, for example, is there a server that the customer gets? Is it all done through the web? So I'm the announcer. I'm announcing it in
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
Where does it go to then be translated, I guess?
Yeah, I think that's also the elegant part. So there's one part about AI innovation and AI models, but the other thing is like, is it going to take me 6 months to do it, or like, can I get it integrated in 6 hours? And we always wanted to conceive about of infrastructure that could, perhaps be integrated in 6 hours rather than 6 months. And so when you actually work with the live AI dubbing part of CAMB. A funny example, we live streamed NASCAR's Mexico City race in Spanish in real time. And we basically did it overnight towards the races over the weekend. And it just worked, right? And so that's the elegance of integration. It's not a deep SDK or API integration at all. We actually sit very much upstream. And the best way to think about it is like you can kind of give us a internet ready feed or a source feed, and CAMB.AI will be pretty much upstream to the fact that it will just spit out the same source feed with the exact same specs, but with additional audio bits added. And so for anything downstream, it almost feels like your source was born multilingual instead of just being born in English. And so anything downstream, the workflows, the kind of like insertion of graphics, the CDN, the distribution remains exactly the same. So there's no disruption into that at all, which makes it quite easy to integrate and very, very easy to get up and started in testing and deploying.
Gotcha. So let's walk through the Mars platform, Mars 8, I guess, version 8. So
Yeah.
um, we're not going to talk about Elon Musk trying to get to Mars. This is a more practical, pragmatic
Yeah.
Mars. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's walk through. There's Flash, Pro, Instruct, and Nano. So kind of
Yeah.
first tell me about the Mars platform, and then let's start with Flash and then go on to Pro as far as the differences and where they kind of fit in.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, how you work with CAMB.AI is we're a full play SaaS studio, right? How we work with our partners is that today you can achieve basically anything in localization with CAMB.AI. We started off solving the hardest problem in live AI dubbing, which, as I mentioned, it's just really hard. And solving for that enabled us to solve everything else in localization. So you could do the same thing in VOD, you could translate your website, you can translate images and what have you. So the way to think about our SaaS studio is just it's a one-stop shop for our for any localization workflow. Now, what is powering this is our own proprietary models and speech models, and we recently announced the eighth version of Mars, which is our text-to-speech model. Um, as I was mentioning a little bit earlier, we our first version was Mars 5, which was we had actually open sourced it in English at a time when nobody in the AI world was even talking about voice or speech. And it trended on Hugging Face at number 3, just below models like Gemma and Llama from Google and Meta. So the Mars text-to-speech models have been quite popular in the open source world and have been the kind of core engine that has been powering our speech experiences. So we recently released Mars 8, and this time we did not release our text-to-speech models as just one text-to-speech model. We released, as you were kind of hinting at, a family of text-to-speech models because we recognized that what was happening in the industry so far was that one people were developing one text to speech model that they were trying to shoehorn into multiple use cases, but not every use case was born the same, right? You need a certain different style of TTS to be able to do movie dubbing. You need kind of a directorial flair to it. Or if you're deploying text to speech models on the edge or on devices, they need to be small and efficient. So Mars 8 is the world's first text-to-speech family, and as you mentioned, we have four variants. Um, Mars Instruct is our largest. This is a model that you can basically prompt like ChatGPT and direct the performance. So you can kind of say like, "Hey, say this sentence in a crying way," and then the output of the speech model will be something that has a teary kind of sob towards the end, right? So it's almost like using ChatGPT for speech. We have Mars Pro, which is what actually powers a lot of our multilingual broadcast dubbing for sports and media. It balances like speed and multilingual quality and is able shouting and screaming like a sports commentator would. And the next one we have Mars Flash. This is kind of like our Mars Flash is kind of like an our introduction into the API and developer world. So today, a lot of developers, whether it's within the sports or media organizations or generally, a lot of people are building voice agents, right? So maybe you can go to a website, talk to it, like get all the information you need in an app. A lot of our friends in the sports community are looking to build these things and experiences for leagues and teams. And so now Mars Flash is a tinier version of Mars Pro, which by the name as it suggests, it's quick and fast, and it's made for these conversational agents. So it's fast enough that you can interact with it. And then, our most significant innovation, in my opinion, is Mars Nano, which actually brings a lot of the performance and expressivity of what our text-to-speech models can do, but it can literally like fit on your phone, on your devices, right? So you don't need to really even call into the cloud for certain types of applications like basic conversational agents or audiobooks and such. That model can literally reside on a toaster, and your toaster can speak to you, right, without connecting to the cloud. So that's kind of our range of text-to-speech models. And in congregation, they support the variety of experiences that we get to the real world today in terms of speech.
Right. So in so Instruct would be really good. Sorry, for like Hollywood kind of movies where
Yes,
you're kind of
yes.
dubbing over a movie.
Yep,
Pro, obviously, the great thing about Pro is that it does mimic the emotional response of the announcer. So,
correct.
and
Yes.
what's the delay there roughly, or is there a delay, or how does that?
So when we do broadcasting, we've achieved as low, kind of gaps as like 5 to 10 seconds, like complete dubbing in multiple languages. And so when you talk about delay, it's not just like the processing time of the text-to-speech model, but also the ingestion and translation and whatnot. So all that together is now within like 5 to 10 seconds, which most of our broadcasters are very happy with the latency that we've gotten to and are currently streaming with. But the model itself, takes maybe 2 to 3 seconds to process audio. And then the next one, Flash, which I mentioned, it's kind of like the younger cousin of Pro. That's at like a 200, 300 millisecond latency because you need it to just converse with people super fast.
Right, right, right. So now, why is Nano to you the most exciting thing?
I think if we back out of CAMB.AI for a second and think about the sports and media world for a second and what AI offers to that world is I don't think people see just how much AI is going to be consequential to personalization, right? Before the AI, burst and boom, everybody in sports was talking about personalization, 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 getting to every fan and getting every fan engaged. And AI is actually that one thing that will set fire to personalization. It'll make it like super accelerated. Why I'm extremely excited for Mars Nano is because when you can have a model fit on your consumer device, um, there is nothing more that can be personalized, right? Like all that data that you have on the app, it's no longer going to the cloud. It's all there on the device. It's in, and that is what is kind of being in context used to interact with you and such. I'll give you an example of how I see this manifesting in the near future. Today, we're doing multilingual commentary for a lot of broadcasters, and we kind of sit in the cloud, and we will continue to, right, because of the infrastructure it requires. But there's also a future where even just in English, you might want a certain personalized commentary as you're watching the game. Now, those things are possible through things like Mars Nano, because you definitely can't have millions of feeds, each personalized to users, but you can definitely send the broadcast to a phone and have that commentary then become personalized on the phone itself. So Mars Nano is going to be able to do these experiences. And we've announced partnerships with folks like Yes Network and others that have app first experiences and whatnot. So I'm really excited about like what on-device models can do to the world of sports and especially in personalization in that sense.
Right, right. So the dream there, I mean, it's reality, but you have to get on the devices to begin with. But so the
Yeah.
dream is on my phone, they, to your point, they know I only speak English for the most part, right?
Yes.
So as opposed to me having to select, oh, I want the English commentary, I want this comment, it would automatically know it's on here. So anything coming into it will be automatically be translated to meet my needs, potentially.
It could be, we could think about translation. Of course, translation will always require a little bit more and the power of the cloud and perhaps like further down, it can also, can come to the edge. But specifically in the case of Mars Nano, I'm talking about just personalized experiences, even in, let's say, the few languages content is available in today, right? So, what would it be like if your favorite sports superstar was taking you through the game, right? In their voice, right? That is an experience that can be done on device. Or, if you're a Chelsea fan or if you're a Man City fan, then you kind of want to hear commentary that's more biased towards your team, right?
Right, right.
Those types of experiences are very hard to do at scale in the cloud, but excitingly very close to getting done on the device through models like Mars Nano. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. So that's a very exciting future. And it fits well into kind of how we see the future of helping brands reach 8 billion people, because it's not just about making content multilingual. It is truly about making content accessible to everybody. And that fits right into kind of our roadmap and vision for what we want CAMB to be.
Awesome, great. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate the
Yeah.
time and understanding of what Mars is all about and CAMB.AI. It's really great. Now I understand exactly where you guys kind of stand apart from others in the industry. So appreciate the time.
I appreciate it. No, and thank you for your time.
Sure, awesome. See you soon.
Yeah. See ya.